Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm the GQ Jedi. If you're not already subscribed to me, blast that subscribe button down below so you don't miss any valuable Star Wars content. Now when The Empire Strikes Back, we all saw a lot of action take place in the latter half of that movie. Well, through the whole movie, honestly, but the latter half, specifically on Cloud City, a lot of things went down there. But I honestly don't feel like Kenner was all that excited about it when they were making a playset for us.
After being chased off Hoth by Darth Vader, Han and Leia desperately needed a place to hide from the Empire. As luck would have it, they were close enough to Bespin that Han thought it was a possible safe haven, as his old smuggling and gambling buddy, Lando Calrissian, was the man who ran Cloud City. Turns out it ended up being the last place that they should have gone, as Lando ended up setting them up and hand-delivering them to Lord Vader himself. Boba Fett had been tracking Solo from the Noat system and set a trap for him. Han's fate would be sealed in carbonite, and he would spend the rest of his days hanging on Jabba the Hutt's wall as an ornament. Meanwhile, Luke Skywalker had abandoned his Jedi training on Dagobah with Yoda once he sensed that his friends were in trouble. He promptly arrived at Cloud City and went in search of his companions. Boba Fett was already aware of Luke's presence and shots were fired, but nothing amounted. That is until Luke found his way into the carbon freezing chamber, and the rest is history. Luke's parentage and his destiny would be revealed to him while fighting the evil Darth Vader. To say that Kenner neglected Cloud City would be false. I would come to their defense at light speed. But it's also not fair to say that they gave it a lot of attention and creative thought, as they only made one playset for Cloud City, and it was made of cardboard. Released as a Sears exclusive in 1980, the Cloud City playset came packaged in a thin box with a colorful image of the playset featuring 4 new action figures populating it. The Cloud City playset came with Han Solo in Bespin outfit, Dengar the bounty hunter, an Ugnaught, and Lobot, Lando's aide. Getting a handful of action figures with a playset was a long-standing tradition of Kenner's when they were trying to help push out new action figures or a new playset, or just to help boost sales in general. And I think in this case especially, getting a Han Solo and a bounty hunter helped make up the lack of playability that this playset offered kids, and I'm pretty sure Kenner knew this too. The playset is small and consists of a heavy cardstock, and it has a few white foot pegs for your action figures to stand on that are scattered throughout the playset. Visually, the Cloud City playset looks stunning, has great detailed artwork, covers every square inch of it, has beautiful colors. The skyline itself looks like Cloud City with deep orange hues and has an orange cloud car flying by overhead. Below that, on what would be considered the second level of this playset, is the carbon freezing chamber silo. At least that's what I'm assuming it is it has a giant hole in it big enough for a figure to put in it. What else could it possibly be? You basically just take your guy and you stick him on the top level here, and he just kind of stays up there for the moment. And when you want to reenact the freezing part, you just lower him into the hole. It's literally just a hole. There's nothing else there. You just drop your guy in. That's the whole action. That's the feature of this playset, I guess you could say. Not that exciting. Putting a guy in here, having him actually lower into something would have been cool, like the Death Star elevator. I think that would have been awesome, something like that. I also think the cardstock here is a little too flimsy for putting an action figure on top, because it kind of makes this paper sag. So I actually don't like putting any figures on here, but that's just me. Below that is the main level of the playset, where you can properly display your action figures with ample room for multiple interactions to take place around the playset. The playset has a few white foot pegs that are scattered throughout it, which is a nice little feature. As you guys know, if you collect Star Wars figures, the old ones, they don't always stand up correctly. Some of them got a tilt, so a foot peg is always handy. I think that's pretty nice. It's kind of a thing with this playset, displayability for your action figures. That's what it's got going for it. The left side of the playset is basically the dining room. That is what they've recreated here. This is the dining room where Darth Vader and Boba Fett were waiting for Han and Leia after Lando betrayed them. So you can recreate that. There's even a stormtrooper drawn on the wall. So if you need an extra trooper in the room, you already have that going for you, which is a nice little touch. In the middle of the playset is a hand-drawn staircase with an ugnaught. It's a great likeness, right? That leads up to the carbon freezing chamber silo. On the right side of the playset is the infamous Interrogation Room. I think we're all familiar with this scene where Darth Vader interrogates, that's a funny word. I didn't actually hear any questions being asked. He basically just tortured him. And there is the chair itself, hand-drawn along with 2 stormtroopers to provide support in the interrogation process, if you want to call it interrogation, which is kind of cool that they've drawn them on the wall because it doesn't take away any space from your figures that you want to put in here. But on the flip side, if you don't want to stare at stormtroopers, you're kind of screwed because they are drawn onto the playset. Nothing you can do about that. And that is pretty much the entire playset, guys. There are no real play features to speak of. It's a pretty simple and straightforward cardboard playset. It's very similar to the Cantina Adventure set, which I also did a review on. I'll leave a link in the description down below so you guys can check that out. This playset is more for displaying action figures than it is for actually playing with, in my opinion. I would have loved to have seen this playset made out of plastic, be a couple levels deep. There'd be a gantry for Luke and Vader to duel on. That would have been epic. I think they deserve that. And as I mentioned earlier, I think if they would have included a way to lower Han into the chamber, like the Death Star elevator, or even make an actual chamber for him to fit in, that would have been awesome. I honestly think Kenner had already devoted all their energy into the micro collection line where they did flesh out Bespin with their Bespin World action playset, but that wasn't scaled for 3 to 3/4 inch action figures. So this is where the buck stopped for kids like me who weren't into the micro collection line, which is a shame because Kenner made awesome toys for the micro collection, but they were all too small. I think Kenner definitely put out far better playsets than this Cloud City playset. It's okay for what it is. It is a beautiful displaying setup for your action figures, but it is a shame. Cloud City was always kind of dreamy. I guess we'll just have to keep dreaming about the playset that we should have gotten.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed my Cloud City playset review. If you guys liked this video, give that like button a thumbs up because it does help out the channel. And if you've not done so, blast that subscribe button, hit the notifications bell so you don't miss any valuable Star Wars content. And remember, collect or collect not, there is no try.